What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Burn it up for so. Your bitch gon' not know when it's up. Run that shit, we at all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It is your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, what up y'all? We are back with another video. Today we will be talking about the situation with Brenay, Tim, Akira, and a little bit of Devon. As you guys know, yesterday Akira officially won her lawsuit case against Brenay. Brenay owes Akira $1.5 million. I don't know if y'all heard me, okay? Brenay owes Akira $1.5 million for alienation of affection. On top of that, she owes $250,000 for criminal conversation. Now, I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had to do a little bit of research, go down a rabbit hole, go through a couple of different TikTok pages, piece the stories together, and piece what happened in that courtroom together. Some people's videos got blocked and deleted. Other people's videos got muted. Then you got live sessions that was going on that other content creators or other T pages was recording and posting on their pages. And I ended up with 5 pages of notes so that we can talk about this court case and kind of lay this thing all the way out. Now, if you're not heavy on social media and you don't know about the situation between Brenay and Akira and why Akira is suing Brenay, I will have the video linked in the eye. I don't know what side it's going to be on, but it should pop up right about now. I will also have it linked down in the comment section in the pinned comment, okay? So you can watch the breakdown of kind of how this thing started and get a feel for why Akira is suing Brenay. Now, if you already know what's going on and you just need a quick little summary of what happened in that courtroom, or you just here for the conversation, I ain't gonna hold you no longer. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Hey, let go. So it was already said in the beginning of this video, but I just would like to say once more that everything that I am speaking about in this video is alleged, besides the fact that Akira won the case. Because there are strict rules put in place about recording inside of the courtroom, everything that I'm about to pretty much summarize came from a couple of creators on TikTok who I would like to give thanks to because they are my resources. Okay, so first of all, thank you to Mac, Alley Cat, Cherish, and Black Goddess. Those 4 pages on TikTok were the pages I was kind of bouncing back and forth to get this information. But aside from that, we are here reacting and talking about the court case that a couple of them heard with their own ears and shared to us viewers what they understood from the things that were said in the courtroom. So because I didn't hear these things with my own ears, I'm just going to say it for the 3rd time now. Everything that we talk about, everything that we say, everything that is going on in this video is all alleged, okay? So from my understanding, the first day was pretty much like the selection of the jury, right? This is when it all started going down on TikTok. I started to see multiple creators uploading pictures and videos of Brenay and Tim coming out of the courtroom, and TikTok was like, all right, we ready to go through this trial. There was a couple of creators that went live kind of talking about what they saw and what they heard, but to my understanding, things didn't start going down till about day 2 when everything, you know, was up and running. So boom, we have opening statements, right? It's time for us to get on down to the neck grit. Everybody's ready to hear what both parties have to say. Miss Robin, who represents Akira, is pretty much saying that Akira and Brenay were in a one-sided friendship, right? Akira was genuine with her friendship towards Brenay. She loved her wholeheartedly. She was there for her, she respected her. Meanwhile, Brenay was really only friends with Akira and in Akira's space to be close or closer to Tim. So at the time, Tim was enrolled in school and Akira was a breadwinner. So she was helping with the finances around the house, the finances for Tim's school obligations, and that may have caused a little bit of tension in the home because they were having a little bit of financial difficulty, but they were not on the verge of breaking up. There was talk about DV between Brenay and Devon, and Akira welcomed Brenay into her home with open arms to get away from the situation. Miss Robin expresses that Akira was truly hurt by the things that Brenay had done to her, and that she had been a genuine friend to Brenay. Brenay then takes the stand. So allegedly, Brenay's opening statement wasn't but about 20-25 seconds. She pretty much said everything that people have heard, all the things that are on the internet is a lie. Everything is a lie, and the case was filed incorrectly. She states that her and Tim's relationship started after Tim and Akira broke up. So now Akira takes the stand, and Akira pretty much talks about December of 2023. Akira and Tim invited Brenay and Devon over to Akira's mom's house for Christmas to celebrate. Akira says it seems like Brenay and Devon was in a pretty good place, as well as her and Tim. She says even after the Christmas party, her and Tim goes on a vacation on a cruise and everything is fine. She does reveal that a few days after the vacation is when she found out about what was going on between Tim and Brenay. Akira is then asked about her relationship with Devon, and she says there was no relationship. She knew how to respect boundaries, and her and Devon only really communicated when all four of them were in the same setting. They had no relationship outside of the friend group. It's pretty much like they didn't speak unless they were in each other's face. And the only time they were in each other's face was during like double dates or a party or just chilling with all four of them together. Akira then starts to speak about the time Brenay came to live with her and Tim. Akira says Brenay overstepped and disrespected her boundaries in her own home. Akira says that Brenay slept with Tim in their marital home. And then after sleeping with him, she makes a video about how he makes her insides feel. And yes, they said the video was played in the courtroom. So when I heard that, I was like, I wonder how that went down. How did it even get to a point to where Brenay even moved in with Tim and Akira, right? So I had to do some digging, had to do some more research, and I came across another video with a little bit more detail. And yes, I will share it with y'all. So basically, Brenay claims that Devon was being physically abusive to her, right? And so Tim and Akira end up saying like, you know, this is our friend, so we are going to welcome her into our home to pretty much get away from the situation. Now, this story comes up a couple of times throughout the trial, so I'm gonna just sum it up this one time. We ain't gonna keep doubling back on it. So I'm gonna tell you every itty bitty piece, including the extras that I found out along the way this one time. But basically what happened was Tim was over Brenay and Devon's house, and she was at her vanity desk crying and emotional, right? Tim goes into her beauty room and sees that she's not her normal self and says, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Brenay then goes to tell him, hey, me and Devon ain't right. Okay, he's being physical with me and I just need to get away. So Tim said, all right, come to my house, right? Now later on in the trial, Brenay reveals that she was uncomfortable with that decision initially. She was not comfortable just going to Akira and Tim's house. And I say, why? If these are your friends, why not? What makes you uncomfortable about it? It's because you're doing something with this man you shouldn't be doing. Now you finna be, I guess, more tempted to continue to do what you're doing with this man, but in their home. Did you feel a little bit bad about what you were doing in their home? Like, if I was to go over there to their house and I wanted to do something and he was going for it and I did it in their house, that might be a little too much with me actually living there, because allegedly she had been doing it in their house already. Okay. But living there, she don't have a home to just get up and go to afterwards. When she's feeling guilty, she can kind of get away from it and, get some air. Now you'll be living there and you probably can get it as often as you want it now, but you can't escape it. But anyways, she goes on to say that, mind you, this is some days later, but I'm just giving you the story one time. Brenay goes on to say that she didn't feel comfortable when Tim told her, hey, come stay with me. But Akira then texted her and said, girl, come on, get up out of that situation. It ain't worth it. Just come on over to our house. We welcome you with open arms. Come through, right? So back to Akira, how she allegedly explained. Brenay comes and she's there, and she noticed that Brenay started to physically get in between her and her husband. So if they come cuddled up or booed up on a couch, she come insert herself right in the middle of it. If they're just in the kitchen cooking or having a conversation, Brnee would come and get right in the middle of them and kind of like scoot Akira to the side and out the way. And Akira felt some type of way about that, right? But she just didn't say anything, not to Brnee at least. So Akira starts to notice that, you know, sometimes she go to sleep a little early, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And when she wakes up, middle of the night, maybe going to use the bathroom or maybe just flipping over, probably gonna throw her hand on her man or her leg on her man is not there. And so if she gets up to see where he is, she realizes he's in the den with Brnee with the door closed. And it's the middle of the night now. Akira done went to sleep at 8 or 9, but she probably done woke up by 1 or 2, and Tim is in the den with the door closed with Brnee. So eventually Akira would ask Tim about it, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's tea? I've been noticing this. Y'all been acting a little different, a little strange. What's really going on? And Tim would pretty much just gaslight her, like, it ain't nothing going on. You tripping. You know, we just friends. We ain't doing nothing. It ain't nothing like what you think. So Akira attempts to believe him, you know, in what he's saying. But she found herself feeling alone, right? And she felt like she didn't have anyone to talk to about this situation. I'm going to assume that she just didn't really want any outsiders in her business. Didn't want anybody, no matter how close they are, you know, in their relationship. She just didn't want anybody on the outside maybe judging their relationship and what they're going through. We find out later that the family pretty much financially helps them, you know, helps Tim financially. She probably didn't want to paint him to be a bad guy. She probably just wanted to kind of figure out what was going on between her and Tim, get to the bottom of it, solve it, and be done, right? But because she had no one to talk to about it, she started to get piercings, like a lot of piercings. And that was just her way of kind of coping with the situation. And so allegedly she runs into her family members, her mom and her grandma, in a grocery store or in Walmart or something. And they're like, girl, when you get all these piercings? It was said that allegedly the piercings were like on her face, or majority of them was on her face. And they like, why you got these piercings? What's going on? And she just like, oh, nothing. I just like this. And they're like, nah, what's going on? Cause this ain't giving at this just you. And she told them what was going on. So Akira tells her mom and her grandma that, look, Brnee is living with me and I want her out. Things haven't been right between me and my husband. And I think something is going on between them, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And I pretty much just been going through it. And so the grandma is like, oh, if you don't know how to handle it, I do. I'll come handle it for you. Don't worry about it. So time goes on. I'm not sure if this is like the next day or the next week, but grandma pops up at the house. Girl, they said when grandma came, it was so filthy in Akira's home. Food everywhere, fast food bags everywhere, chips and cookies and cups and sodas and just everything everywhere, just filthy. I'm going to assume only in that area Brnee was in, right? So Brnee done disrespected their house by sleeping with Tim, which is Akira's husband. She's not cleaning up after herself. She just laying in filth and don't care. And so grandma come in the house. This little bit was revealed later, but grandma comes in the house and she's like, how long you been here? So Brnee's like, I've been here a couple weeks and I'm gonna be here a couple more. And grandma like, you got to get your stuff and get out, right? And Brnee says, I'm not going nowhere. Tim wants me here. Not Tim asked me to be here. Not Tim said it was okay to be here. That girl said Tim wants me here. Okay. At this point, Tim comes from somewhere, the back or somewhere, and he's like, yo, you out of line. You shouldn't be questioning her. You shouldn't be talking to her. And the grandma like, I'll beat you. You need to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And Brnee's like, Akira, you better get your grandma. Like, you better come get this lady. So everybody tussling. Akira's trying to calm down Tim. Tim's trying to calm down Brnee. And grandma just don't give a damn. Okay? I know that's right, grandma. And so basically the police got called because the grandma was like, you gonna get out of here one way or the other. And there was a couple of different versions of this part, but I'm just gonna kind of tell you what I understood from what I heard. The police pretty much said that grandma doesn't have any authority to kick Brnee out of the house. The police asked Akira and Tim, do they want Brnee there? And it was said that Akira was respectful of her husband, so because he was like, she can stay, Akira was like, she can stay. So the police told the grandma like, we can't do anything about what you want us to do or with you wanting her out of the home because this isn't your home, in so many words. And so, grandma was like, okay, whatever. And it was said that somewhere in there, Brnee was trying to get past the grandmother or around the grandmother or something, but she aggressively like pushed her. And so, Basically, once that happened, the police were called and other family members were called because they were saying like Tim got to go and Brnee got to go. But again, people who do not own or who's not on the lease, because I'm not sure if they were in an apartment or a home, but people who are not on the lease can't come and say who stays and who goes. So Akira says, here, babe, probably not babe, but here, Tim, you take the car and go. Just leave. So Tim leaves with Brnee. I'm not sure if it was for the night. I'm not sure if it was for a couple days. I'm not sure if it was for a couple hours, but he leaves in a car that Akira is paying for, and Brnee hops in that car with him and they dip. So now that they out the way, Akira's family is putting her up on game. Like, look, he ain't the one for you. He ain't right. You need to let him go, let them go, let that go. Let it be, because what you going through, you shouldn't even be going through, right? And Akira's like, I hear you. You know, she going through the motion with her family. I'm sure she was really emotional or whatever. And she agrees like, okay, I probably do need to let that go. But Tim ends up coming back to the house. And guess who comes back to the house with him? Brenay. Yes, Brenay. And so Tim and Akira have a conversation, and he's pretty much telling her like, look, you betrayed me. That wasn't right, what went down and how that happened. And I'm not cheating on you, and I'm hurt. You hurt me. Like, you really hurt me with what you did. Calling your people over, having this huge situation get blown out of proportion. Like, you hurt me. You hurt my feelings. And your girl Akira ends up believing him when he says that he's not cheating on her. And she actually ends up apologizing to him that night or that day. So while Akira is still on the stand, it's more and more details just coming out about text messages and videos that she's seen on Tim's phone. She said there were messages between Tim and Brnee. Tim sending Akira's manicures and pedicures to Brnee, telling Brnee to get her manicures and pedicures exactly the same as Akira's, which is strange. Now, y'all know, if y'all follow the little drama, the little tea on TikTok, you always see where people come and compare something Akira did and then Brnee coming right behind her and doing it. Just like there was a video out of Akira saying, oh, I want this 3-row, I forgot what type of car it was. I think it's a Kia. It might not be a Kia though, but I want this 3-row Kia and I want it to be this color and that color. And then before you knew it, Brnee went and got a 3-row. Mind you, Brnee has no children. Brnee doesn't have any children for her to be getting a 3-row vehicle. She went and got a 3-row vehicle, the same exact car, the same exact color that Akira had said. Or Akira will get her hair one particular way, one particular color, one particular style, and Brnee go and does the same exact style or same exact color, like almost immediately after. And it got me to thinking, like, if Brnee is copying Akira, is she copying Akira because she knows that is what Tim is attracted to? Is she trying to be more attractive to Tim by doing all of the things that Akira is doing, like immediately after? I couldn't really wrap my mind around that whole thing. And the last thing I was expecting was for Tim to actually be sending pictures of Akira's nails saying, hey, get your nails like this. Like, I didn't think he would have had any involvement with that. But now it makes me think, is Tim responsible for how Brnee acts when it comes to like copying everything Akira does, or at least majority of things? And then you got to think about too, the cyber stalk that Brnee was and probably still is doing to Akira. Akira says it was difficult, you know, seeing messages or watching videos on Brnee saying she wants to give Tim the world and she will give Tim the world, and that he can have whatever it is that he wants, whatever he asks for. The world is his. And Tim and Akira were going through financial issues at that time. And so she was kind of like feeling like this girl can, or is trying to give you something that I can't give you at this time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like Akira's mom and grandmother was putting up thousands of dollars to make sure they had a car, make sure that, you know, try to help their home as much as they can, because Tim had made a promise in the past that I'm going to make sure my wife is good. Like, if we down, we're going to be down together. And when I come up, no one has to worry anymore. These are the promises he made, right? Allegedly. Akira says that her kids are confused on why they have to now call Auntie Brnee. Like, they were that tight where the kids were calling her Auntie Brnee. Why her kids have to call Auntie Brnee mommy now, and why they're trying to call their mother Akira. Akira says she feels like her kids are being groomed when they're around Tim and Brnee. And she also says they're pretty much forcing them to make Brnee their replacement mom. So now Tim takes the stand. Tim takes a stand and he pretty much says, look, I'm not in love with her. I never was in love with her. I'm never going to be in love with her. He says in like 2018, Akira was going through a financial hardship. She was getting into it with her roommates and she needed somewhere to stay. So he was like, hey, I'm a cool person. You a cool person. Move in with me and my parents. Now, allegedly, his parents was like, if you're going to have a girl here, if someone's going to move into our home, you got 60 days to marry her. This has to be your wife. You can't just be shacking up. You can't just have girls just staying and living with us. This has to be your wife if she's going to stay here. So, because he's that good of a friend, he didn't tell her that. They weren't in cahoots about, hey, we'll go ahead and get married so you got a place to stay and then we'll get divorced or nothing like that. You know, in Akira's head, allegedly, they were in a full-blown relationship. They were in love. They were building something. Timothy says that was never the case for him. So boom, time is ticking. You got 60 days. He marries Akira only so that she can have a place to stay. Now, can somebody tell me where that makes sense? If Akira was not his girlfriend, or if she was his girlfriend, but he didn't like her like that, he should have just been straight up about the situation with all parties. Akira, I don't like you like that. I don't even want to be with you like that. I don't want you out in the streets. I don't want you homeless. I care about you because I don't want nothing to happen to you, but I don't want you. Now, my parents said in order for you to stay here, we have to get married. So I'm about to go tell them that we're not even in a relationship because I'm breaking up with you because I don't want to be with you. I don't even like you. I'm not even attracted to you. Because mind you, these are the things that he said. He was not attracted to her. He never bought her any gift. He just didn't want her to be homeless. He didn't even get on one knee to ask her to be his wife. That's what he said, allegedly, on a stand. And then you can ask your parents, you know, can your friend live with you guys till she get on her feet? But hey, he's such a good boyfriend or friend or whatever he was in his head to Akira that he went on and married the girl. Only because his parents said that's the only way she'll have a place to stay. Tim says pretty much some years has passed, you know, and this is around the time, you know, the blow up incident has happened with family coming over to the house. And at this point, Devon is, you know, in his head and trying to figure out if Brnee is cheating on him, and Akira is in her head trying to figure out if Tim is cheating on her. And it's just a whole lot going on. So Tim says Akira pretty much one day is like, you know, you should just go off and be with Brnee. Y'all always find your way back to each other. You guys are perfect for each other. Like, please, like, go be with her. And Akira pretty much forced or suggested that Tim and Brnee become a couple. Tim says, do not believe anything Akira is saying. Akira is a liar. She's always been a liar. She will always be a liar. She's lying about everything. So boom, we move on. Next trial day, right? And it's said that Devon takes the stand now, and he pretty much gives a little bit more insight and clarity on what he found out about the relationship that Brnee and Tim were having. So around this time, Akira and Devon are checking in with each other, trying to see, you know, how they're holding up. This is after the breakup and everything. And Devon pretty much says like, look, I kind of knew this was going on. I wasn't 100% sure, but now that I sit back and I think back on all the signs, all the little slick remarks that were said, the way they were acting, it's like, yeah, they've been doing this for a while. I started to peep game a nice little minute ago. Devon reveals that in 2019, him and Tim were kicking it heavy, you know, and around that time, Tim was messing with Corinne heavy. And when I say messing with, I mean messing with, okay? They were sleeping together. And you're probably like, who is this? Who is Corinne? Corinne is Brenee's twin sister, okay? If you didn't know, Corinne is Brenee's twin sister. So in 2019, allegedly, Tim was screwing Brenee's twin sister while, you know, with Akira. And if you've been following the story for a long time, or you went back and watched the video I told you to watch, you would know that Tim and Brnee had relations when they were teenagers. Tim's parents didn't approve of that relationship, so they broke up. It came out in this trial that Brnee actually took Tim's V card and she was his first love. Now that's alleged, but allegedly it came out of Tim's mouth. And so when that comes out, when Devon says like he was messing with Corinne in 2019 heavy, everybody started to think, whoa, we've been saying, not me, but the internet has been saying all this time that Corinne's baby girl looks like Tim. What y'all think? right? So if they've been messing around and the ages is adding up, is that possibly Tim's baby? But this case is not about Tim and Corinne. It's about Tim and Brnee. So of course we move on past it. But Devon says that Brnee was overly obsessed with the situation. She couldn't get over it. She was upset about it. She was saying like, why would he do that? You know, at the time, why would he mess with her? Why would he do that? So Brnee was aware that Tim was sleeping with her twin sister before the court date, before the trial currently, and she still slept with him again. Now that's nasty for Corinne to go after your seconds. You messed with him when you guys were young, teenage, 13, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. You guys did what you did, but that it was nasty for her to come back, even though it's years later, to come back and do something with him. But the fact that you knew that and then you went and slept with him again, and not only slept with him again, y'all, do y'all know that Brnee and Tim are married? I don't think I covered that on the last summary I did about a month ago. I don't think I covered that, but they're married. So not only did you sleep with him again, you married the man. Ooh, moving on. Devon then goes to talk about an incident that happened again, December of 2023, where Tim and Brnee were making cookies or some type of dessert or some type of dish or something. And they had to go get some ingredients from the store. So Devon was saying like, something seemed off. Something seemed a little fishy. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go with y'all to the store. And Brnee gets to huffing and puffing and getting an attitude. And she was like, it's cool, you can go, but you ain't gonna be in the video. Yo, husband? You want to go to the store and go shopping and make a vlog with somebody else's husband, and your husband is right there and you say he's not going to be in the video? Pardon me? I just don't understand it. I don't even see how we got to that point. I don't even know a word to describe it. That's deeper than disrespect. Because why can't he be in the video? He probably don't even want to be in the video. You know what I'm saying? But let him say, I'm gonna roll with y'all, but don't put me in the video. I ain't in the mood. Or I ain't in the mood to vlog, but I'm gonna go with y'all to the store. I want to grab something too. Like, what's the big deal? Because y'all wanted to mess around right quick. Y'all wanted to do something right quick while y'all just going to the store for probably one thing that you probably really don't even need. It really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder if he did not go to the store with them, were they really just going to go to the store and come back? They want to have a little deep conversation right quick. They want to do something real quick, because it couldn't have been totally innocent, could it? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Shortly after, he says that Brnee and Tim have started to spend more time with each other. And so he went to have a conversation with her and kind of see what's going on. And Brnee was like, I need some space. I need some space from the relationship. I need some time to myself. Can I get that? And so Devon is like, you trying to take a break? You trying to get a divorce or something? And she's like, no, nothing like that. I just think it'll help us grow. Like, I just need a little bit of space, figure some stuff out for me and help us grow. Then we come back and we be strong. So Devon was like, okay, all right. So Devon tries to get active with his wife, right? And apparently she was kind of liking it because she said something like, ooh, boy, stop before I start catching feelings again. Or, ooh, stop before my feelings come back. And I'm just thinking to myself, before your feelings come back for your husband? I'm not sure if he was touching her. I'm not sure if he was saying things that she likes to hear, but he was trying to get active, if you picking up what I'm putting down, right? And you say, boy, stop before I catch feelings again, or boy, stop before my feelings come back to your husband. This ain't a stranger. This ain't nobody in the club. This ain't your best friend. This is your husband. I would think that if the spark was gone, you would like the fact that your husband is trying to spark a new flame. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think that you, if you actually feeling a little butterfly, something you probably haven't felt in a while. You've been clocked out. You've been too busy up under somebody else's husband. And then your husband do something and you get a little butterfly in your gut. I would think you would be a little excited for that. But nope, not Brnee. Brnee says, hold up, don't let me get attached. And then follows with Tim's on the way. It was said that Tim shows up with an air mattress. That means he planned on being here for a while, right? And he sets his air mattress up in a beauty room, in an extra room. And so Devon says that one day he hears Brnee asking Tim, if we had another chance, would you take it? Would you be with me again if the opportunity was there? And Devon said, he was in the middle of like waking up from a sleep. And he was like, I know I ain't hear what I thought I just heard. I think I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm not tripping. Am I tripping? And so he let it fly for a little bit, but he eventually asked Brnee, what was that about? Did you ask Tim that? And she didn't deny, she didn't accept accountability. She didn't say, yeah, I did ask him that. Instead, she said she wants a divorce. So now this air mattress is in this beauty room and Brnee is no longer sleeping in the bed with her husband. She is now sleeping on an air mattress with Timothy. Okay. Not only is she sleeping on that air mattress with Tim, she is also getting active in her and Devon's marital home. So she's disrespecting disrespecting her home and she has disrespected AKIRA'S home. They have smashed in both of their homes where their spouses reside. They ain't going to get a hotel. They not sneaking off in a car. They're doing it right there in the house. Both of their houses. So mind y'all, all this information is coming from Devon, and these are through text messages and voice note that were revealed to the courtroom. And AKIRA'S like, why didn't you tell me this stuff? Why you never told me? Like, AKIRA was pretty upset with Devon for not telling her. And he says like, I didn't want to break up a happy home. I didn't want to be the reason why you got the divorce. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be the one to expose this nonsense to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really didn't know what to do in the situation. It comes out later on that Brnee is Devon's first girlfriend, first wife, and he's dealing with all this when it come to her. He didn't know what to do. He did what he knew best, was to control his emotions. Don't, get himself locked up. Don't do nothing that he was going to regret. He just kept it in, kept it balled up. AKIRA understood that, eventually, they cool now. She understands that, it's kids involved in this. And she understands that he didn't want to be the reason why their marriage failed. So he just kind of let it be. So things had kind of started to heat up a little bit around this time. And there were some text messages that were revealed of AKIRA reaching out to Brenay about Tim. So AKIRA messages Brenay and she's like, can we talk? Can we meet up and talk? And Brenay pretty much ignores her. Shortly after, Brenay uploads a YouTube video with Tim in the background shirtless. So AKIRA messages Brenay and she's like, you're so disrespectful. That is my husband that you have in your background. That's my husband that you're trying to show off. And you have betrayed me. I don't want you around my kids. I don't ever want to see you again. Like, you're with my husband. Like, you're doing inappropriate things with my husband, and that's not cool. Why Brenay texted her back and said, that ain't your husband no more? So this is the part of the story where it starts to boil down, like right before the divorce and, everything started to come about. That was kind of like the icing on the cake. That's when it was pretty much confirmed that, okay, yeah, they doing something. You know what I'm saying? This girl texts her back and said, that ain't your husband no more. I'm telling you, I don't know what I would have did or replied. I probably would have just had to pull up at that point. It wouldn't have been no, hey, we need a meeting time. Hey, this or that. I would have just had to go ahead and pull up. But luckily, AKIRA does not think like I think, because AKIRA just won a lawsuit. She finna be getting $1.5 million. Me, I would have been behind bars somewhere temporarily, but I would have been behind bars somewhere behind somebody telling me that my spouse is no longer my spouse and you're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to be my best friend. My kids call you auntie. How dare you? Like, do you really think this is appropriate? Do you really think this is right? The things that you're doing? We're not divorced. We're not even separated. And you got my man in the back of your videos with barely any clothes on. And y'all just kicking it heavy every day in, day out. You got flirtatious eyes on your videos, on your TikToks, on your YouTube, everywhere. Everybody can see it. It's all over the internet, honey. Everybody sees right through it. And you think this is okay. Not my husband no more, girl. I wish she would. So recess happens. Right? And after recess, AKIRA is set to take the stand, and then Devon is set to take the stand. Girl, why they say Tim left the courtroom because he was there, right? It was recess. He leaves the courtroom, goes to his car, and tries to come back into the courtroom with the weapon. Now, some people say a pew, other people say it was a knife. I don't know which one it was. Either way, he shouldn't have had it. His excuse was he forgot he had it. Why did you have it during recess? Were you scared? The only thing I could think of was, because I ain't gonna lie to you, the content creators was out there, okay? They was crowding around. They were in personal space. They had the camera all up to their face. They were following them, getting on the elevator with them. They were, in my opinion, doing just a tad bit too much. They were a little too close, I guess I should say. So the only thing I can imagine is something happening and he felt like he had to have his little protection on him, and maybe he was getting ready to run late, and maybe he did run in there and accidentally forget that he had it on him. Or, because they say Tim was a little unhinged, okay? Or he thought he can slide by security and get away with having that thing on him and do something. They said that Devon and Tim had got into it like after the first day of the trial, got into it in the parking lot or outside the courtroom. So hey, no one really knows the truth but Tim. So he had got arrested, and then I guess he got bonded out because I don't think he missed a day of the trial, right? So now the trial goes on and AKIRA takes a stand. Now, as y'all know, Brnee is representing herself. So she doesn't have a lawyer to ask questions, cross-examine, nothing like that, right? allegedly, basically, she had one in the beginning, right? She had an attorney, a lawyer, whatever. She had one in the beginning, but then they had said that they was pretty much dropping the case. Now I heard 2, 3, 4, 5 different stories. I heard that Brnee told them to drop the case. I also heard that Brnee was not being truthful, so they dropped on their own. I don't know, but all I do know is Brnee was representing herself. Okay, so she had the chance to pretty much question Akira. And on all the videos that I've seen of this particular section, people was like, can y'all imagine being questioned by the mistress? Like, for real. You up on the stand, and because they're representing themselves, they asking you whatever they want to ask. They said the judge wasn't interrupting. They also said that Akira's attorney wasn't interrupting either. So she was asking stuff, and based on the things that she said, she wasn't asking nothing that was going to help her in the long run. Like, those questions and those answers were not in Brenee's favor at all. Like, if anything, it helped Akira in her case. It was asked to Akira, why does she want to keep the last name, Montague, Tim's last name? And she said she earned it simply because she needs her last name to match her children's last name also. You know what I'm saying? They're still young. She said they're just now, learning their name and spelling it and everything. And because they're so young, if anything were to happen, she wants to still, on paper, be attached to them. Akira says that's her name. She keeping it. She ain't changing it. It is what it is. So Devon takes a stand, right? And Devon gets up there and he's pretty much letting them know that Brnee and Tim have been active at least 4 times in Brnee and Devon's home. He said that one time Tim's child was at their house with them, and Brnee called the child into the room after Brnee and Tim had been active and told that child to bring her some baby wipes so she can wipe up. Now, Brnee asked him, how do you know what I asked? And how do you know we've done this and we done that? Devon says, because I heard y'all. It's not allegedly. I heard you. I heard you being active, and I heard you asking for the wipes right after. Allegedly, the courtroom's mouth was on the floor. Everybody's mouth was on the floor. Okay. And my mouth would have been on the floor too, because what? And then my whole thing is, what you mean wipe up? Go take a shower. Y'all so disrespectful. Go take a shower together. Like, go properly wash that thing. Y'all just got done doing the oochie goochie, and you want a baby wipe? You want a baby wipe? I mean, as adults, you need some soap and water and a towel and some lather. You need some of this. You should have gotten a shower, but even if you want to take a little bird bath, some water, some soap and a towel like this is what you need. You ain't need no wipe, even if it was warm. A wipe. And then, okay, why you just didn't get up and get the wipe yourself? Or why Tim didn't get up and get the wipe? Like, why are y'all involving the children? It's like, I know Akira was sick. That's just nasty. Then I know he smelled that horrible aroma when he opened up that door to bring the wipes, y'all. So Devon says that it got to a point where him and Brnee, were no longer sleeping together. And somehow they switched rooms. But Devon says that Brnee and Tim started to sleep in Brnee and Devon's bed while Devon was still in the home. Like, why he literally lived there. Devon slept in the beauty room and they slept in the bed. I said, I'm sorry, excuse me. How? Why? That is crazy. I don't see me letting something like that slide. And you may say you have no control over your emotion. In that situation, I mean, I would have had to do one or two things. I would have had to whoop his tail, okay? Or I would have had to leave. I wouldn't have been able to be in that house knowing that my wife, because they were still married, is in the bed with my cousin. And we was all just like kicking it, doing double dates couple months back. Like, I know this messed up Akira and Devon's mental. I know it did. And I'm so glad that they didn't react the way I'm saying I would have reacted, because these good outcomes for them probably wouldn't even be happening the way they're happening. You know what I'm saying? So I can sit here all day and say what I would have did, but I'm glad they moved the way that they moved. And I know it hurt, but look who's coming out on top. Look who's winning in the end. You know, I hate that they both had to go through the things that they went through. It's disgusting. It's disrespectful. It's wrong on every level, you know, but they were playing chess and not checkers. And at the time, they were just controlling their emotions. They wasn't trying to fight, wasn't trying to go to jail, get no charges. They wasn't trying to do none of that. You know, they dealt with it internally, and I'm glad they didn't let let it break them, because look at where they are now. You know what I'm saying? So Tim takes the stand, right? And when he takes the stand, he pretty much says that Brnee is his one and only love. Okay, she took his V card and he never loved Akira. He only loves Brnee. And Akira's representative is like, okay, well, after everything had went down and you guys separated, right? You guys stopped dealing with each other. Why were you still messaging Akira telling her that you love her? And girl, they said, Tim said something like, I mean, I could tell anybody I love them. That don't mean it's true. I say I love you all the time to people. That don't mean that I love them. Not helpful, Tim. Tim, that was not helpful for your case, okay? So the representative says like, okay, well, what is this, and this? And their text messages and pictures. Tim done sent his little man, you know, Akira was saying some freaky things. Tim was saying some freaky things. And they also were doing some freaky things. So now at this point, Tim done had this affair with Brnee, right? Both parties know that, okay, it's officially over. Akira is aware. Devon is aware. Everybody's aware that it's officially over at this point. But Tim doubles back. So Brnee is thinking she the only one. Brnee is thinking they finna live happily ever after. Brnee is thinking that Tim is over Akira, didn't want to be with her anyway, and he's only focused on her whole time. He went back to that old thing, his wife, okay? And they're messing around and they're telling each other they love one another. He's sending good morning, beautiful, and good morning, wife, good morning, my love, text messages, all behind Brenee's back this time, right? And y'all, they said Brnee was shocked. Brnee knew nothing about it. Of course she didn't. The same thing that your now husband, Brenee's now husband, Timothy, was doing to his ex-wife, he's going to do it to you, Brnee. That's just him. You can't expect anything different. You're going to lose that man the same way you got him. Like, period. At one point, it comes out that Akira allegedly pushed Tim and Brnee to be together. At one point, Tim says that Akira said, as I mentioned before, you and Brnee are made for each other and you guys always find your way back to each other. Go be, you know, with Brnee. Brnee takes the stand and she says that once she moved in with Akira and Tim, Akira, the first thing she said was, me and Tim are going to get a divorce. And then Brnee follows up with, me and Devon too. And so Akira allegedly starts to tell Brnee that, oh, you should go ahead and be with Tim. The kids are already comfortable with you. I think you guys are a good fit. You know, you guys were a thing before, so y'all should try it again. Y'all are made for each other. Basically, Brnee was saying that Akira told her, you can have my man. I don't want him. We're getting a divorce, so it's fine for you to have. And so Brnee claims that that was her okay to mess with Tim. She says that they were going to go look for an apartment for Akira, and there was some type of song on or something like that. And Akira pulls down the visor and looks through the mirror at the back seat at Brnee, and pretty much giving Brnee an eye signal of like, go ahead and shoot your shot. What? Do y'all believe that? Now, I was watching a creator. I don't remember which creator it was, but she said something along the lines of, it sounds like Akira was trying to get someone to confess. So she would give Tim those little lines of, you should be with her. You should get with her. Y'all made for each other, to see if he will crack, to see if maybe he'll get a little excited, maybe a little smirk on his face, or maybe actually come out and say, you know what? I think that's a good idea. Or you know what? Let me confess, we've been messing around. It seemed more of like trying to catch them in the act type of thing, more so of Akira actually being serious about it. Either way, me personally, no one said whether it was true or not, if Akira said that was a lie about her forcing Brnee and Tim together, but I have a hard time believing that someone is just going to up and be like, here, you get with. Like, yes, the kids are comfortable with Brnee, but on an auntie level. Now you got Tim's kids calling you mama. How would y'all feel as a kid from calling somebody auntie to mama? Y'all, this was crazy. In conclusion, it did come out that the whole reason why this lawsuit even came up was because Tim's mother came to Akira when everything blew up and it was all over the internet and told Akira, you need to sue her for this because I don't like her for my son. Now remember, when Tim was younger, his parents did not agree with him being with Brnee, and I'm sure those feelings didn't go away, especially with how this whole thing is playing out. That woman came into your home and slept with you. Then you, as my son, Timothy, you go into her home and sleep with her, and y'all both still married? Akira says that it wasn't until money started coming in on Brenee's end that Tim's mom switched up on her. So in the beginning, she was riding with Akira, and she was like, you need to sue her. You need to do, she's wrong on all levels. But then when she started to benefit from the situation, she switched. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. I haven't really seen anybody side with Brenay. I haven't seen anybody with a difference of opinion to pick my brain a little bit, to make me think about things in a different light. It's wrong and disrespectful across the board. Tim is wrong. Brenay is wrong. And I am glad that Akira won. She deserves it. You know, y'all cannot forget Akira is still suing Brenay for cyberstalk. So they'll be back in court. I believe they said the first week of December. And also, y'all don't forget, Tim is still getting sued by Devon. Okay. So I don't know when that'll start, maybe the beginning of the year, but they're both going to get it. Tim is going to lose. Devon is definitely going to win his case, just like Akira won hers. Y'all let me know what y'all think pieces are down in the comment section. I really want to hear from y'all. I thank y'all for doubling back on me and listening to me tell y'all and share with y'all my notes that I gathered from the situation. Let me know if I said something wrong. Let me know if something was out of order. You know, if it wasn't all the way right. You know, if I was out of whack a little bit. I do not mind being corrected because, as I said, I wasn't there in the courtroom. I was looking at about 3-4 different TikTok pages going back and forth day to day. Some stuff got deleted. Some people just went live and talked about it, didn't even post a video, and I'm just trying to piece it all together. But this is what I got from it, and this is the way it flowed for me. All right. Again, I'm glad that Akira and Devon moved the way they moved back then, because right now they coming out on top. Look, y'all, I have a goal of 30,000 subscribers by November 30th, which is my 30th birthday. All right. So look, if you have not already, if you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Burn it up for sure. Your bitch gonna know when we're sure. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera roll.